It started when an alien device did what it did, and you know the rest, right? Like many of our subscribers here, I'm a fan of Ben 10. I was there when it premiered in 2005, the epic premiere of Alien Force, and the show's untimely ending at the hands of early weekday scheduling. The franchise has and continues to bring joy to my life, but it's not the only thing that does that. In 2010, that's when I first installed League of Legends on my crappy old laptop, and I tried it out, and after that, my life changed.
Error, League of Legends mentioned, commencing shutdown.
Wait, don't leave. I'm not telling you to play League of Legends, but if you did. With this being said, it's been about a decade of me being a fan of both League of Legends and Ben 10. So I thought, what would be a better idea than to have a little fun and merge the two together? Hey, I'm Padaman OP, aka Hershey Lee, and I'm joined by Cloud Sitki in today's episode of Freeze Frame, where worlds collide and we ask the question that nobody asked. How would Ben 10 aliens work as League of Legends champion? Yes, you heard me right. I thought it'd be fun to translate Ben 10 aliens into champions from League of Legends. And Cloud agreed to do it with me. So let's talk about what that means. You might be familiar with Jinx, Echo, Vi, or Jace, or even Victor from Arcane. Those are all playable champions within League of Legends. Champions are usually built like this. Champions traditionally have 4 abilities. These 4 abilities are binded on your keyboard in the forms of Q, W, E, and R. Cloud has translated 2 aliens into League of Legends champions, and I've done the same thing, which means they'll get a passive and 4 abilities. So, let's jump right into it. We'll be going over each alien's new, unique, in-universe lore and the details of their abilities.
Hey guys, Cloud here. Huge shout out to the entire team for having me on to share my passion for both Ben 10 and League of Legends. The first alien I'm adding into League is Heat Blast as a mage. His lore starts off at a cemetery in a deserted island far west of the Shadow Isles. After being set ablaze by Brand, a resting spirit of a fallen hero becomes enraged, possessing the flames itself and vowing to take revenge against the one who disturbed his slumber. Heat Blast's passive is called the Burning Flames. All of Heat Blast's ability leave a trail of cinders that last for 6 seconds and can be picked up by Heat Blast to restore a small amount of his health and his mana. His first ability, his Q, is called Flamethrower. Heat Blast fires a beam of flames at the mouse's location, and upon hitting an enemy champion, the cooldown is refunded, and Heat Blast gains a small burst of movement speed. His W is called Flame Absorber. Heat Blast instantly absorbs all the cinders in a large radius around him and increases the healing from them by 10%. If he absorbs more than 6 cinders, Heat Blast also gains 10% of his maximum health as a shield and gains a burst of movement speed. His E is Bring the Heat. Heat Blast fires up his heat to the maximum temperature, and his auto attacks and his flamethrower burn off the enemy's armor and magic resistance for 4 seconds, and this can stack up to 6 times. At maximum stacks, enemies that take damage from Heat Blast also take a percentage of their current health as magic damage. And finally, for his ultimate, we have Let It All Burn. Heat Blast gets extremely enraged for 10 seconds, gaining movement speed, ability power, and Scorch. Scorch is a buff where Heat Blast passively drops cinders, his auto attacks now drop additional cinders, and his abilities drop 2 cinders when hitting enemy champions. For every 10 cinders that Heat Blast absorbs while he's enraged, Let It All Burn's duration is extended by 2 seconds.
For my first alien, I thought I'd bring a little bit of chaos to the rift in the form of Wrath as a fighter. Stolen from his Vestalian family in his youth, Wrath was sold to the highest Noxian bidder. While living in servitude, Wrath learned to use his magic to fuel his fighting spirit and empower himself. After realizing how powerful he was, he became property of the Noxian army, serving under Darius. Darius believes that he has control of the beast, but Wrath knows that his strength above all, and anyone can fall. So, of course, his passive is called Let Me Tell You Something. After hitting an enemy champion with an ability, Wrath imbues himself with magical fighting spirit and deals bonus attack damage based on how many abilities they've been hit with previously. His Q is Sejanus Swipe. Wrath uses his retractable claws to swipe directly in front of him. The damage ignores shielding and applies grievous wounds. His W is Cosmic Catapult. Wrath grabs an enemy, doing a small amount of attack damage. He can recast the ability in a target direction to throw the enemy. If he does not recast, it results in a 1-second root. If they hit a wall, they are stunned. His E is, it's showtime. Wrath leaps to the target area and knocks up champions on arrival. If 2 or more champions are struck, the cooldown of Sigil's strike is refunded. His R, or his ultimate ability, actually has 3 different names. Each time Wrath uses his ultimate ability, it swaps out for an upgraded version of itself, and its cast range is increased dramatically. So let's go down the list. The first version is Polaris Pile Driver. Wrath leaps to an enemy champion and suppresses them, taking them into the air and slamming them down, causing damage. The second ultimate ability is Ursa Major Body Slam. Wrath jumps to target location and dive bombs it. Enemies hit by the initial impact are stunned, and enemies hit by its AoE impact are grounded. Wrath's third and final ultimate ability is Serious Butt Kicking. Wrath empowers his next 3 attacks or abilities to do max HP damage to his targets, and applies an 80% slow on it.
For my second alien, I chose Goop. Now, there's a somewhat Goop-like champion already in League called Zac, but Goop is cooler, so I still chose to bring him in as a tank. For his lore, I went with an arcane-themed background. Goop was originally a creation of a very young and very reckless Heimerdinger. He attempted to bring life to inanimate objects, but when he realized how dangerous this could really be, he destroyed all of his research. Little did he know that something survived. He had created life from nothing, and that nothing is now Goop. Many years later, Singe discovered that Heimerdinger was in fact successful in bringing life to inanimate objects, and in order to bring his daughter back to life, he chases after Goop to run his own experiments and learn from him. Goop now spends his days running for his life. Goop's passive is Haste. Goop is ghosted, allowing him to avoid collisions with other units, and gains a small burst of movement speed every time he passes a unit. His Q is Hammer Smash. Goop throws out an arm of Goop and attaches to any enemy unit hit. Upon recasting, Goop lifts the enemy up and smashes them to the ground, stunning them for 1 second. His W is Rejuvenation. Goop gained a mastery of all poisons in his time running away from Singed, and he can activate Rejuvenation when taking any form of damage over time. Upon activation, Goop is immune to all damage over time spells for 3 seconds and heals 10% of the immune damage. His E is Goopify. Goop drastically shrinks himself, gaining himself movement speed and dodging all auto attacks and champion-only targeted abilities for 3 seconds. Goop then drastically increases in size, knocking up all enemies around him. And now for his ultimate, Goop Shower. Goop throws toxic goop at all the enemies in a small radius around him for 6 seconds, blinding them for 1 second. Enemies that are hit with 3 stacks of Goop Shower are also stunned for 1 second.
My second alien here is going to be Ditto. My motivation here is we don't really have champions in League that are micro or multiple units like Meepo from Dota 2. So here's my attempt at something different in League. Ditto joins the League as a specialist. Now for our lore. No one quite knows where Ditto came from, or even if he's a Yordle at all, but everyone remembers the day that he arrived in Vandal City. The ensuing chaos of so many rascally creatures appearing all over Runeterra as he stumbles around, finding and falling into every gateway in sight. The Yordles took no issue in taking him in, and even less of an issue in being his friend. But things became complicated when Ditto began to describe terrible visions of vast nothingness and terrifying creatures all about. They would come to find out that one of his duplicates had found his way into the void, and they would need to find and save him to stop Ditto's terrors. Ditto starts with his ultimate ability. But first, let's start with the passive. Ditto's passive is the more the merrier. Ditto and his copies deal 1% max HP as bonus damage on auto attacks. Each active copy of Ditto increases this amount by 1%. Ditto can have a maximum of 5 copies at once. His Q is Ditto blows a raspberry, taunting target enemy. Ditto takes increased damage from the taunted target during the duration. His W is Run. It's a passive ability. Ditto gains passive movement speed when moving away from taunted enemies. His E is Tag Team. Ditto directs his clones to jump at a target once per cast. Champions that are struck by a clone are slowed by a percentage, and this stacks per clone. His ultimate ability is Time to Spread Out. Ditto creates a clone of himself, maximum of 5. Ditto takes a percentage of damage that his clones take. So, how would our champions fare on the Rift? Are they broken and bound to be nerfed into oblivion? Or should we just stop cooking here because we burnt it? We're only scratching the surface here for sure, but this was certainly a lot of fun. Special thanks to Cloud for joining in on the fun here, and big thanks to OR Ash for providing the art for this one. Thank you for watching this episode of Freeze Frame. Who would you add to the league, and just how would you do it? Let us know to the comments below. I'm super curious. We'd also like to know if you guys like this video and what else you'd like to see from us. I'm PandaMan OP. Always remember to smile, and I'll see you next time.
Special thanks to Andrew Analik in the ink cartridge tier, and Elizabeth Susan in the ink barrel tier. Your contributions greatly help out our projects, and we hope you continue to enjoy our content. Thanks again.